Amazon's The Wheel of Time, Episode 2. Why are we hanging out with the White Cloaks? What? Right now, we should be here with the Fellowship of the Ring, Moiraine, and the Two Rivers people, being chased by the Cloaks. But instead, we're dealing with the White Cloaks because Rafe Judkins thinks that his stupid idea about a White Cloak Aes Sedai serial killer was a good one. Rafe, you're fired. This is an adaptation. See, this, I'm not going to go off on a tangent. In closing, I will say this scene is stupid. I guess somewhere in the cliff notes, it says that the White Cloaks refer to the Aes Sedai as Tarvalin witches, and Rafe Judkins thought, oh, witches? Salem witch trials, burning at the stake. And that's why we get this. Doesn't happen in the books. And there's a really good reason that it doesn't happen in the books. This little thing that the entire story is built upon, what was it called? Oh yeah, the One Power. It's a magic system wherein the people who can use this magic would absolutely destroy anyone who tries to burn them alive. This is pretty basic stuff. I guess Rafe Stain didn't realize that, forgot about it, ignored it completely, tried to write his way around it by inserting things that don't exist that corrupt that magic system. See, it's a little frustrating because everything in the story is built around the One Power and how it works. So if they have to use their hands now, that changes like a billion other things that happen in this story. So yeah, it's a big problem. It's a big problem. This scene is retarded. You should disregard it forever. This is like the first evidence that we get of the fact that the Trollocs don't like water. This gets established later, so we don't really need this shot, but sort of. It's pretty easy to get that across with the throwaway line. You didn't need this, but whatever. I guess show don't tell is always a good thing. It's a bit clunky. It didn't happen in the book. You're spending time on it. Later, they spend even more time on it. And they also cause this issue where they cause a little bit of cognitive dissonance in that why don't they just cut the fucking rope and totally screw over the Two Rivers people and make them helpless? Robert Jordan gets around this by not having the Trolloc army all the way up their ass and having to send out what is called a drag car, which is this flying humanoid bat-like creature that hypnotizes you and drinks your soul if it gets a hold of you. But they cut it because Rafe Cuckstain wanted to do this instead. And so this not only doesn't happen in the books, but it also creates issues. Yeah, I guess we got this visual. I don't know. Fine. Dude, look at the size of the ferry. And then look at the size of the Trolloc army. It's going to take them like 3 days to get the entire army across the river. But then we've also got another little addition that Rafe Judkins expertly added in. He created a character that doesn't exist.
My son!
Hightower's son, who never shows up, but it acts as a sort of motivation for Hightower to jump in the water and kill himself at the hands of Moiraine, who could have saved him and didn't. Yeah, just a real dumb, idiot, stupid, not smart move by this character. What? Like, nobody knows what he hopes to accomplish here.
One thing, one power. And women like you and I, we're lucky enough to be able to touch it.
That's what she said.
Yeah, they changed the concentration exercise of touching the One Power from the budding rose to like sloshing water or whatever.
Look at the stone. It's clear, like the water of a river. Imagine yourself floating in that river.
Just another pointless change. Didn't need to happen. They could have easily used the thing from the book, but I guess Rafe Judkins just didn't like it, so he changed it. I guess he gets to do that. Rand kicks Egwene out of bed, lol. She kind of broke up with him a little bit earlier. That's just another thing that got rushed. It was basically supposed to be boyfriend, girlfriend all the way up until the end of the first book, if not well into the second book. Also, that undercuts another character's predictive ability. I don't know how that gets introduced because I haven't seen that far into the series yet. Rafe Judkins probably couldn't keep track of it, so he cut it. This replaces a dream that Rand has in Berlin, where he meets Baalzamon for the first time, and Baalzamon breaks the back of a rat by crooking his finger, and then he tries to do the same thing to Rand, and then that's when Rand wakes up and oh. Another important scene that they've cut in favor of a jump scare, some generic body horror. I don't know.
Go where you will then. I've run out of patience.
Moiraine threatens to leave them. She believes that the fate of the world depends on them. She tells them that before she lets the Dark One get his hands on them, she will kill them herself.
The Dark One is after you three, one or all. And if I let you go running off wherever you want to go, he will take you. Whatever the Dark One wants, I oppose. So hear this, and know it true. Before I let the Dark One have you, I will destroy you myself.
Rand acting like he'd be fine without Moiraine's protection after finding out, basically, that the monsters from the fairy tales of his youth are real?
See, how come I don't believe you'd actually let me do that?
Yeah, that makes sense. That's perfect. Good, great, good stuff.
But I'm from the borderlands, where men know how to keep their hands to themselves.
I mean, fondling an Aes Sedai as a white cloak, this would never happen. Never happen. Moiraine would never let it happen. Lan would sooner chop this dude's head off and take on the entire group of them on his own than allow this to happen. And I'm not exaggerating. The white cloaks being out here in the first place makes no logical sense. Like, what are they doing? What are they doing out here? Just hanging out? Torturing Aes Sedai? In the book, we meet the White Cloaks for the first time in a city. We meet them in Berlin. White Cloaks being in the cities makes actual sense because that's where Dark Friends would be. And that's more or less the only function for the White Cloaks in this universe because the Trollocs aren't a thing yet, at least not to their knowledge. And like, what else are they going to fucking do? Now, the only reason that they have him here is because they wanted to have this scene. But why do they want to have this scene? It's yet another idiot change that will serve no purpose. Good job, Rafe. You're doing great. This, though, is a much bigger problem. This asshole's going around torturing and killing Aes Sedai in cold blood with complete impunity, regardless of the fact that the most powerful faction on planet Earth would declare war on them and then wipe them off the face of the planet. Do you think the White Tower wouldn't have a problem with this? Do you think the White Cloaks are stupid enough to assume the Aes Sedai wouldn't find out and burn them all to cinders? If so, I've got a lovely timeshare in the ruins of Chernobyl to sell you.
That White Cloak, you lied to him. You can heal that wound.
At no point in that scene did Moiraine say that she couldn't heal the wound. Now, what Moiraine's about to say is,
We can only heal others.
But actually, in the scene, she never said she couldn't heal the wound. She said,
Not healing well.
So, I mean, you know, maybe watch your own fucking show. Is that not a common practice when you're filming things? Do you not get to watch the scene that you just filmed?
We will always tell the truth. It just may not be the truth you think you hear.
Yeah, and Aes Sedai would never say that. This is a line from the book. It's something that people say about the Aes Sedai to warn against getting involved with Aes Sedai. But it also undermines the workaround that the Aes Sedai have come up with for the Three Oaths. You know, they cannot lie. It's in their bones. It's like they cannot, like physically can't lie. The only time that they can do something even resembling lying is if they think they're telling the truth. Like the Aes Sedai refer to other Aes Sedai as sisters. So they can say stuff like, I have a sister in Whitebridge, when they don't actually have a sister in Whitebridge, but they have a sister. You know, like she's saying the truth, but she's using terminology that is misleading, and they can do that without lying, technically. But an Aes Sedai saying that an Aes Sedai always tells the truth, but it may not be the truth that you think it is, that like it's a self-indictment. Wrong finger. More proof that Rafe Judkins doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
We need to get out of here. Right! Where? East to the fallen city of Shadar Logoth.
Why would you assume they know where that is? They're farmers that live out in the middle of nowhere and have never left the Two Rivers. Okay, yeah, just another dumb line by Rafe Judkins. Good job, Rafe. You're fired. Oh, look, a Trolloc carrying a torch. Yeah, Trollocs can see in the dark. Did you not know that? Why isn't Lan carrying Moiraine? Even if you only read the first book and not the prequel, you would know definitively that Lan would be the one carrying Moiraine. 100%. And that's only if Moiraine is injured in this part of the story, which she's not. She's tired, but she's not injured. And Nynaeve is with them, and Nynaeve is feeding her herbs to keep her alert and on her feet, which is more character development for Nynaeve. And that becomes really relevant later in the story. This is the thing. With season 1, you're laying groundwork. Okay, you need that stuff. And it's all getting cut because Rafe Judkins thought he could do it better. He can't do it better. He's terrible. Another thing is that Shadar Logoth is way too dangerous for Moiraine not to be able to ward. And I still haven't figured out why they needed Moiraine to be injured here. Like, why did they do that? I just don't know.
During the Trolloc Wars, it was the richest, most powerful city in the world.
No.
But when the world needed them most, they built their wall with no gate.
No.
How the armies of Manetheren came to avenge Kar and found the gates of Ardhold torn down. The gates of Ardhold, the gate.
Locked themselves inside and let the other nations of man burn.
Wrong.
It was the people of this city who promised Manetheren aid, and they were the ones who let them die.
Wrong.
When the Trolloc Wars ended, survivors came here to find food, shelter.
No, they didn't.
When they knocked, no one answered.
What, they knocked on the wall? You said there was no gate, stupid.
When they finally broke through the wall, there was no one inside.
Oh, they knocked so hard that they broke through.
It is said that evil itself grew from the city's heart and consumed everyone and everything that lived.
That's kind of right.
Not even Trollocs will step foot behind these walls.
Wow, you just rewrote the entire story of Shadar Logoth. Except you didn't really rewrite it, did you? You kind of just copied the real story's homework and then changed some stuff around to make it look like you didn't copy it. Now, I have read this part in the books multiple times just to make sure that I was right about this. This is a big fat lie.
Late in the Trolloc Wars, an army camped within these ruins. Trollocs, Dark Friends, Myrddraal, Dreadlords, thousands in all. When they did not come out, scouts were sent inside the walls. The scouts found weapons, bits of armor, and blood splattered everywhere, and messages scratched on walls in the Trolloc tongue, calling on the Dark One to aid them in their last hour. Half-men and Trollocs remember still. That is what keeps them outside this place. In the days when Thorin Altorin Alban was king of Manetheren, the king of Ardhol was Balwin Mael. In a twilight of despair during the Trolloc Wars, when it seemed the father of lies must surely conquer, the man called Mordeth came to Balwin's court. Before Mordeth had been long in the city, he had Balwin's ear, and Ardhol began to change. Ardhol drew in on itself, hardened. It was said that some would rather see Trollocs come than the men of Ardhol. Suspicion and hate had given birth to something that fed on that which created it, something locked in the bedrock on which the city stood. Mashadar waits still, hungering.
And to think Brandon Sanderson actually vouched for your dumb ass.
And I give feedback directly to the showrunner, his name is Rafe, and he is amazing. Really great writer.
Shadar Logoth is cursed because of Mordeth, and Mordeth got cut from the story, which would have been a really cool and fun scene. Basically, Matt, Perrin, and Rand go off on a little mini adventure. I'm not going to tell you what happens because it's in the books and it's fucking awesome. It's a cool scene, but yeah, suffice it to say that what happens here is way less cool. Again, they're cutting all the good stuff. Oh yeah, Lan is just letting everybody wander around. Also, God, it's just like nothing is right. Everything is wrong and nothing is right. They're cutting things, they're getting things wrong, they're ignoring things, they're replacing things with things that aren't good. It's frustrating.
You should have this. Layla made it.
Right. Layla. Her. Character development, I guess. Even though Perrin is the blacksmith, not Layla. It makes me feel kind of dirty to admit that I actually kind of like this scene. Only kind of, mind you.
Since you seem to think if you ever got into any trouble, it'd probably be my fault.
They are talking about a character whose only purpose was a lazy attempt to rush development for Perrin, but it's still a nice little moment where you get to see that Matt and Perrin really are friends. Okay, black shadow thingies instead of the mist. This scene's really dark, so the fog would have been a lot better because it would have created a contrast. Like, the clear choice is to use the mist. This would have been so cool to show. God damn it, I've been picturing this in my head for so long, and they just didn't do it. I just want to... They get separated in the city, and they all have to go in different directions because not only is Shadar trying to fucking eat them, but the Cloaks are after them as well. The Cloaks entered the city. They're being driven by one of the Forsaken. Matt and Rand get separated together. Perrin and Egwene get separated together, which does happen in the show, but I don't know. They keep all the stuff that's like whatever, and they cut all of the really good stuff. And then Nynaeve totally just sneaks up on Lan. Now, I'm pretty sure what they're doing here is when Nynaeve catches up with Moiraine and Lan, Nynaeve sneaks up on them and gets within like 20 feet of their camp without Lan noticing, which in the book is a big deal. It's something that Lan is very, very impressed by because warders have heightened senses, and Lan was already a super badass before he became a warder. She says, Tam Althor taught me how to stalk when I was a little girl. And he says, like, he taught you well. It's just like a cool little moment between Nynaeve and Lan. And it's something that kind of goes to their development, which they've cut completely and replaced it with this girl boss moment where Nynaeve just puts a knife to his throat and threatens to kill him after having escaped from Trolloc captivity and killing a Trolloc on top of it. Yeah, I think we can call that girl bossery.
Where are we? You've killed us all.
Look what you did, you little jerk.
Couldn't let Lan be competent, could you? Yeah, that's not the way it happens. It's not the way it happens in the book. Lan and Moiraine make the decision to come to Shadar Logoth together. Lan suggests it and she's like, no, it's more dangerous than having the Trollocs on her ass. And then basically they have no choice at one point. They have to go because it's the only way that they can lose the Trollocs. But of course they changed that so that it will be Lan's fault that they get separated and not Moiraine's fault. I don't know. I'm not sure why this is here. It's pointless and all it does is shit on Lan's competence. So whatever. Thanks for some more character assassination, you dick.
If you don't take me to them right now, I'll slit your throat.
There you go. That was episode 2. Holy shit. It's like somebody hitting you in the face with a bucket full of garbage. It's like you took away our awesome Ninja Turtle toy and you gave us like a pile of poop instead. A handful of human shit to replace it with. And now we're crying. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe. All my links are in the description. Follow me on X, join the Discord. I'll see you guys in episode 3. I'm the fuck out of here, guys. Peace. I hate this whole Eamon Valda everything thing. He doesn't even get mentioned until chapter 5 of book 2. I think he's probably supposed to be a stand-in for a couple of other characters that they've kind of smushed together into one character, but he's not supposed to be here yet. I don't know what they're doing, but I'm sure it's fucking stupid. What is being replaced with Moiraine being out of commission? I don't know. What would it be if I were a huge idiot and didn't have any respect for the source material? What would I be up to? You know, I'm starting to get the feeling that, just starting mind, that Rafe Judkins is lazy and out of his depth. That's right, you like to kill Aes Sedai and collect their rings as trophies that you wear on your person out in the open. This is This is a big this is a big problem. It's not it's not you shouldn't have done it. You shouldn't have did it. You shouldn't have did it.